You probably think of yourself as a single, cohesive person navigating the world, but you're not. You are actually three distinct populations, constantly pulling in different directions, all forced to share the exact same body. And when you feel stuck, when you finally sit down to assess your life and make a change, you'll find that your own intellect actively fights against you. Your brain doesn't want honest self-reflection. Instead, intelligent people build what's called cognitive armor. Looking at this top panel, you can see how we construct an abstract, complex blueprint of our problems, like a topology of self, just to avoid dealing with the literal, boring photograph of reality. It turns out that writing a 40-page philosophical treatise about your behavioral loops is just a highly sophisticated way to avoid the reality of taking out your own trash. The only way to bypass those intellectual defenses is to stop philosophizing and conduct a brutally honest, literal mapping of every waking and sleeping hour of your day. You have to stop asking why you behave a certain way and start auditing exactly what you do. If we look at this graphic for the 168-hour audit, you can see the layout of 6 literal domains of reality, charting exact hours spent on things like family, administration, and health. This uncompromising census forces us to confront the undeniable data of how we actually spend our time. It reveals that our existence is divided into 3 distinct, often warring territories. The first territory is your headspace, which we can conceptualize as a vast interior empire, or simply the library. This is where your philosophy lives. It's the home of your anxieties, your mental models, and the fake roles you play in your own mind to feel in control. This diagram shows a generative floor plan of the intellect, divided into specialized rooms like the forge and the mirror. It's a dangerous trap. If you spend 12 hours inside, that time must be documented as an observable behavior, not an assumed identity. True awareness begins the moment you recognize you are hiding inside this intellectual empire instead of actually participating in the physical world. That physical world is the second territory, real space, often known simply as the kitchen. This is the kingdom of stubborn, literal matter. Unlike the library, matter does not care about your systems thinking. It ignores your labels, your models, and your carefully crafted philosophies. The ultimate rule of real space is captured perfectly in this reality anchor panel. As the text highlights, a plate with dried oatmeal on it will never accept a theory of emptiness. It only accepts a sponge. Completing these boring, unreframable chores is the essential anchor that keeps the human mind from floating off into total delusion. The third and final territory is sleep, a neutral zone referred to as the parking lot. This is the essential reset that consumes a third of your life. Here, the ego completely dissolves to prevent the other 2 territories from destroying each other, and they will fight. Our deepest psychological suffering stems from a systemic error we can call the border war. This happens when the headspace tries to annex real space by intellectualizing our relationships and obligations rather than actually showing up for them. The solution to this conflict requires translating our abstract identities into measurable, concrete actions. Looking at this top panel, you see the monolithic AI block shattering into distinct, observable verbs like read, write, and ask. Forcing our complex internal stories to survive the brutal reality of measurable action definitively exposes where our time and energy have actually gone. When the audit is finished, you're left with a record that is boring, literal, and impossible to reframe. By stripping away the cognitive armor of your theories, you are finally looking at the raw math of your life, and that nakedness creates a shivering kind of awareness. This is the moment you enter the injury stage. This chart illustrates the deep valley of injury that separates the safety of mere mapping from actual repair. Here, cool intellectual observation turns into a visceral realization of consequence. Looking at the math, you see exactly where your automatic patterns caused neglect or broken trust. You feel the actual impact of your choices on the real people inhabiting your real space. Registering this pain in your nervous system is a feature, not a bug. It is the necessary discomfort required to spark genuine, lasting behavioral change. Personal freedom is never found in a grand philosophical breakthrough hidden deep inside the headspace. Recovery is found in the boring discipline of the kitchen. As this Venn diagram illustrates, honest action is the only thing that bridges the gap between the library and the kitchen. It means admitting uncertainty, dropping your cognitive armor, and doing the dishes anyway. True awareness is never found in the explanation of your life. It is only found in the doing of it.